think, so I'm going to announce, this part I think you have to hear me. I think, so, did you listen to those YouTube clips?
Yeah, but not really a lot.
Yeah, I think the questions were, like, you could hear the people's questions. That's my question.
Yeah, so that's the thing where, like, if it's only one mic, which is what he said.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, I see what you're saying. You still hear it kind of, but not really. It's muffled. So that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I mean,
so the
if
introduction,
you really want to get picked up,
yeah.
you probably have to speak a lot louder than you think.
Okay, all right. So I will, especially the introduction is kind of important, so I'll say louder.
Yeah, but the other thing is that I mean, depending on how they do it in post, it can get recorded and then added on.
Yeah.
That was part of those questions that I was trying to get
him
to answer
Okay.
in terms of how one would do it or who would do it.
Okay, I'll just try to do like really loud right now.
But, yeah.
Okay, I'll just do loud with my question. Okay. Hello, we're here today with Loois de Groot. Today is December 8th, 2019. My name is Ilana Weltman. I'll be interviewing Loois. Brad Balfour is the videographer. We're here in Washington, D.C. Loois de Groot was born in Amersfoort, Holland in 1929. We're first going to ask Loois to tell us a little bit about his upbringing in Holland and about his family. So Loois, can you share with us a little bit about that?
Yes, we were a traditional family in terms of my mother kept kosher. That was important to her. We observed the holidays with meals. Although my parents insisted that my sister and I did go to the synagogue. It was also a requirement because in the city where I grew up, which was Arnhem, they had a Jewish youth organization, but they had a youth synagogue. So if you didn't attend synagogue, you couldn't attend their activities. So we went every Saturday, we went to school, and on Friday evenings, and so the home was set up for it. No, my parents, I would say, didn't spoil us, but we certainly had a very rich youth in terms of activities. So we were hurting very badly when the Germans started to restrict us.
How old were you when the Germans invaded? Were you?
When they invaded, I was 10 years old.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your school? Did you go to a Jewish school?
No, we didn't go to, they didn't have cheder. We didn't go to a Jewish school until in September 1941, we were required to go to Jewish school. You couldn't go to public school any longer. That's also where the story comes from. And many people you meet, they'll say they went to school with Anne Frank. But originally they lived in Amsterdam and had to go to a Jewish school. And that's where Anne Frank had to go.
Oh, really? So you went to the same school as Anne Frank?
No, I did not.
Oh.
But many people will tell you.
Many people did. What did your parents do for a profession?
They were merchants. They're store owners.
Okay. What did they sell?
Small electrical appliances. And loose things like batteries.
Wonderful. What are some good memories that you have in Holland?
Oh, we used to go ice skating and the pond would freeze over. We used to go to the swimming pool. We used to go to all kinds of activities in the parks. Arnhem had very nice parks. So at one point the parks were allowed anymore for Jews. so we couldn't go there anymore. The swimming pool was forbidden. They made us hand in our bicycles, so but slowly but surely they were restricting us. They made us wear a star. Of course, to go to the Jewish school was really, the other school had been my social life, but in the Jewish school, kids would disappear. You didn't know whether they had been taken away with the family or whether they went to hiding. But you would come in the morning and they would show empty seats. And so, Jewish school was very irregular.
Can you tell us a little bit about what happened to your family when the Germans invaded? And what you did?
My family was warned by the local police that they expected the Germans to come that night to deport people, to round them up. And so my parents decided, the police said, don't leave home. So we didn't, and it turned out that they did come that evening to get us. And so the next morning we left town to find hiding places. My parents had made arrangements, but when it really came to go into hiding, the people changed their minds. Why, I don't know, I never found out.
Do you want to share a little bit about your hiding experience with the woman that wasn't very kind to you?
Well, there were different people. We went into hiding in November 1942, and in 1942 itself, I was hiding in one place where I was betrayed within 2 weeks. Then I went back to my parents, and they were in hiding, and they found me a place. So I went there New Year's Day, in 1943, and these people, they meant well, but they didn't know what it meant to mean well. They were not very kind to me. They actually, practiced the fact that when you were in hiding, you didn't exist. So why should they, have me camped and clean and everything? So they weren't very eager to supply me with soap or with underwear or with clean my linens, change the linens. And so they made me meet as a problem, as a solution for having nothing to do. They made me make envelopes for a friend maker in town. So I was busy the whole day. So these people weren't very nice. But then in the summer of 1943, 43 was a tough time. I moved around through several places. Some stayed in the night, some stayed 2 weeks, some stayed 1 week. But anyhow, by the end of 43, my father had been able to connect with the people who were taking care of Jewish children, the main thing. And so I went to Friesland, which was a northern province where most Jewish kids who have survived. And I met there with a family which was outstanding, which was really, unbelievable in the way they dealt with me. And I stayed with them here after the war, as a matter of fact.
And you still keep in touch with the family, right?
I still keep in touch with their daughter. They passed away. The daughter is alive, yes. And
can you share what happened to your family?
When my family got found, my sister happened to be with them at that time, so they all went to Auschwitz and were killed. Yeah.
And I remember once you told me that you were so angry after the Holocaust about what had happened to your family, so you decided to then go to Israel once you were liberated. Can you share a little bit about your liberation and about your feelings of anger and how you wanted to go to Israel?
Well, I was very angry, but I must give credit to Ruth Gruber. She published those photos. I don't know if you remember that, from the people who were taken back to Germany, and then I saw the British, taking people off the ships to take them back to the camp there. And I thought it was enough. At that time I felt that I really had to do something, because I had a country. I had no problems. So when they asked me if I would volunteer, I was ready to go.
Who approached you to volunteer? Like, how did you get into that situation?
Somebody in Holland who apparently worked with the Israeli, I can't think of that.
The Haganah?
No. But the
It's okay. The Israeli underground.
no, the people who did the underground work, the Aliyah Beit.
Oh, okay.
Aliyah Beit people. And so they came and they asked, they asked a fellow who was a Zionist. But if the fellow was a Zionist, and I was in the orphanage, the Jewish orphanage. And they asked him if he would volunteer, and he asked me. I said, yeah, I'll go with you. So.
And that Jewish orphanage was in Holland?
And that was in Holland, that was in Amsterdam.
Okay.
An interesting site after that, it used to be the Jewish orphanage for boys before the war. And during the war, the bank director hid the funds from the orphanage. So after the war, these people had money to take care of us. So we were known as the rich boys. Yeah.
Wow.
So, we went to in March 1948. We went to the railway station, the two of us, and they found out the seats reserved. There were 3 other volunteers who were there. So we went as a group of 5, and we had instructions that in Paris, near the locomotive of the train, there would be a man standing there with a Jewish newspaper sticking out of his pocket. Of course, there was no man there when he came there. There was a woman. As it turned out, I can't think of her last name now, but her father was very well known. There's a street named after him in Tel Aviv. Her name was Shlomit. And then here we were negotiating, thing. Shall we talk to her? Shall we not talk to her? She has a Jewish newspaper. It doesn't mean anything. It's not a man. But turned out she knew we were coming. And then the next night, we went to Marseille, and there we were welcomed at the station by a guy with a hand car to take our luggage. He said, "Oh, you're the volunteers, aren't you?" Yeah. Lucky enough, one of us forget it.
So from Marseille, you guys took a ship to Israel?
No, Marseille, we went to Tretz. That was they had a place there to train the instructors for gymnastics for the kids. And there were some Canadians there, there was Americans there, and the Dutch. So we went there until they had a ship ready. Then we went to Saint Jerome, which was another place that was in Marseille. From where we went to Toulon, and Toulon we went aboard ship, which had been outfitted for the Aliyah Beit, but nothing special.
What was that journey like on the water?
Well, many of them, we were mixed in with DPs. And they weren't as happy. They were not going to a country that was war. They didn't want to go there.
Oh, they didn't want to go to Israel.
And they didn't want to go to war side.
Oh, okay.
No. So, but they had all false papers, or at least papers that allowed them to get into Israel, to Palestine. No, the Arabs, the Jews, and the British at the port in Haifa, and then they went from there to, they had been told where they would go, who was assigned to, who would pick them up at the port. The people didn't know that we were coming. No, and we don't. So we, the Americans, but British also, some British scientists met with us. So when we were there, I had a visa, but since I was a student, I was allowed to go to Palestine to study for 6 months, and so they didn't understand this. How could I go with my own passport?
Who gave you that passport to get
Yeah,
into
my
Palestine?
passport was issued in Amsterdam.
Oh, in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And what was your feelings like? What were your emotions like when you arrived at the port of Haifa?
Well, to see signs in Hebrew is just unbelievable. To see policemen who are Jewish is more unbelievable. I mean, it was really the awareness that the Jewish people, were people, was really very, very emotional. We went to the high school in Haifa to have a physical. All the doctors, all the nurses were Jewish. It was just a very, very great feeling to see that.
Sure, amazing. And so after Haifa, how long were you in Haifa for, and then where did you go?
Well, we were in Haifa. Well, they were fighting downtown with the Arabs. But that fighting stopped. We went to Mikveh Yisrael. I don't remember. We got stun guns there. We were trained in what a stun gun was and how to use it. And then from Mikveh Yisrael, we went to Sarona. Sarona, at the time we were stationed, Now they're quite different. But we been stationed there for about 4 or 5 days, and by that time they had organized the army in battalions. So we knew we were in the 51st Battalion. And then a few days later, they took us down state, all the way to Gatsovertrom. And that became our base. And at that time, they had solved the language problem because there was a lieutenant who came from Holland, who came in the 30s, but he had been in the British Army during the war, so he was trained in demolitions, so they put him in charge of us, and we had to learn demolitions, because we spoke his language.
Did you learn a little Hebrew while you were there?
Yeah, a little bit, but they didn't take the time for it, you know.
Right.
We had to fight.
Which battles did you fight in? Which region?
Well, we laid mines. We laid mines at night, and we would go out. We stayed in the famous Hill 113, where we stayed for about 2 or 3 nights. We were there when Bernadette came to see how far we had advanced. And after 113, we went to Kakava. Kakava was a place that was south of Iergasweiren. Iergasweiren was a police tackers fort that we attacked almost every night till they finally surrendered.
Wow. And how did you feel during all the fighting?
I felt very good. You know, we were with a bunch of guys, you know, 18, 19 years old. How do you feel? And you feel good. You know, at one point we captured maybe about 50 Sudanese. You know, we didn't know what to do with them. So we had to wait for the military police to come and get them. So, you know, actually all the things that we took care of, we were very successful. We lost only one fellow, and we attacked a church, and we lost one fellow.
How did you feel once the Arabs surrendered and it became a state of Israel?
Well, it became a state. But the night that it became a state, we went to Gaza. They were landing in Gaza, and we wanted to see. Lucky enough, we had some American trained people with us who understood what to do. You know, otherwise we never would have got them back alive. But we just looked at what they were bringing in, what troops were coming in. So when we passed through the villages, they were dancing and they were saying, oh, you know, the United States has recognized Israel. That's how we got the news.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so after the 1948 war, what did you do in Israel?
I was shot in my leg, so they couldn't use me to walk many hours a night. So,
How did you injure your leg?
yeah, in the back of my leg, yeah. When we attacked our shot,
Okay, in the first war?
yeah.
Okay.
So they sent me to the Air Force. I learned how to drive a truck there. And then I met the guy who taught me, says when you get out of the service, you could get a job with me and I'll teach you how to teach people. I said, fine. So I got out of the service in December. I tried to get permission to live in town. Now you couldn't just live in Tel Aviv. You had to get permission from the Groot. And so they wouldn't let me for two reasons. One, I hadn't voted. The very first elections were sometime in November or whatever. I didn't know which party was what, so I just ignored it. So there's one thing, you know, I had not declared what party I supported. The other thing was that they wanted me to go and live at the Lebanese border, but they were setting up Nahal, it was called. But kibbutzim were partly military objects, and I didn't want to. So I went back to Holland. I mean, I had the option to go, so I did go.
Okay. And then after Holland, you came to the United States? Or?
Finished my school, went back to school.
Okay, so you went to Holland in 1948 then? Or
49.
49, okay. Okay, and then you finished school in Holland?
Finished school in Holland, worked there for a year, and then when I waited for my visa for the States.
And then you came.
Then they came here. Yeah.
Very nice. Did you ever visit Israel with your family afterwards? Once you were a U.S. citizen, did you ever visit Israel again?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, but I spent a month in Israel in the 70s. I rented a place in Netanya. Yeah. I wanted my children to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. That's wonderful. Thank you. Is there anything else you want to add, maybe, well, first of all, I want to thank you for helping to create the State of Israel and for fighting. It's really amazing. Is there anything you want to add about that, or how you really been part of that legacy of history?
Oh, I called one Arab. That was when the hand came up and when the white, I was more scared than he was. Yeah.
Do you acknowledge that you're really significant in making that happen?
Yes. Yeah, I felt when I was in Tel Aviv that I did a good job. Yeah.
Do you follow Israeli politics now, or how do you?
No, not much.
Yeah.
Not much. I find that the contest turned out problematic for me. No. I really would like to see more of a even treatment.
Would you consider yourself a Zionist? Would you consider yourself a Zionist?
No.
No?
No, I never was. The Jews in Holland were very integrated. And really, anti-Semitism hardly existed. So there was no need actually there were more anti-Zionists than Zionists in Holland.
Really interesting.
Of course, after the war, there's a big difference. The big difference.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lewis, for sharing your story about fighting in the Independence War. It's really appreciated, and on behalf of the Toldo Israel organization, we're so happy we're able to do this, and for your story to now be archived in Israel's National Library.
Okay.
All right, you can start again.
Okay. Would you like to share?
Yes. We went to Kibbutz Nahon. Nahon had a section where they did recovery for patients, rehabilitation section. and we had taken it over, the army had taken it over. But the army consisted part of the Philharmonic Orchestra, the Jerusalem Orchestra, a group of technical students from the university in Haifa, and a group of technical fellows from the university in Jerusalem. So in the morning, the orchestra would practice. The technical guys would find who would be in charge that day. And we would sit there and wonder, what kind of army we were in. But we had the most beautiful, music. So it was really very funny.
Where was your favorite region of Israel?
My favorite region, Tel Aviv. Really. I like Tel Aviv a lot. Yeah. Of course, it was small when I was there.
You want to describe it a little bit about what it was like?
Well, it sure didn't have the roads that led to Petah Tikva and so on that they have now. No. It's all very much expanded. Yeah, it's much smaller. But I like the Bauhaus that they left. I think they appreciate art. Yeah. Yeah. And there were that many cafes either. There was the cafeteria for military. And I think maybe one or two cafes, and that was it.
Yeah, it's really grown a lot. So.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, they used to shoot at this from Yaffo. You know, there was one area where they could get you.
What did you like to do for fun in Israel in Tel Aviv?
Not that much, you know. Because we were there with our family, they provided hotels for us. So we was in hotels. We'd go to the beach side, not necessarily on the beach. I don't think we could allow it, but they allowed us on there. But they allowed us on the roadway up there. And we didn't have much time off. No.
Was it hard to get food or supplies at that time in Israel?
No, we didn't go for it. Except we had tickets to eat at the cafeteria. Yeah. The Moadon Chayalim.
Chayalim?
Moadon Chayalim.
What did they serve you in the cafeteria?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
That's okay. Is there anything else you want to add about your experience in Israel?
No.
All right. Thank you so much for adding that.
Yeah.